All right, all right. 1 2 1 2. We live here at Pontiac WYAC. We gonna give the people a moment just to collaborate themselves, or get themselves together, because we about to have a night of information and a little bit of fun mixed in the midst. And tonight we got the star, with Miss Isha Branna. You know,
Yes,
tell what's up to the people. Tell them what's happening with you. How you doing tonight?
I am doing absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this talk tonight.
Yeah.
And yes, you see, I got my little Lions gear on from earlier.
Who the Lions messing around and beating this weekend?
You know what? I don't know. All I
Come
know
on.
is we should have talked about that before we went.
Right. Hey, but you know what's so funny about the Lions now? Is used to remember, it used to be a time in a place where we expected the Lions to lose. Now we expecting the Lions to win when they play.
Yeah,
And
yes.
that's what's up. So
That's I will say that I should have been more in tune with it sooner.
it's all good. I mean, hey,
So
we ready now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Anybody and everybody, what I want y'all to do, please, for us, go ahead and share. And Miss Branner, while I
Yeah.
go ahead and start and sharing this live right quick on the platform, what I want you to do is, why don't you go ahead and kick it to the people? I'm gonna give you the flow for like a minute. Tell the people what's going on with you, what's coming up,
Okay.
and what's happening while I share and get this info out so people can go ahead and gravitate, and we can tell them who's on the show tonight and go from there.
Okay. So what's going on? Let's start off with what's new. We just got a new location with a little over 5,000 square feet downtown the city of Pontiac. We got our Halloween trick or treat coming at UWM on October the 26th from 5 to 7. Uh, make sure you guys come out and support. Last year we had a little over 5,000 families. I'm expecting a lot more this year. After our grand open at our Ecos Hub, we got workshops happening. We got looking for jobs,
Mm,
seminars. We got, as you can see, my Max Main is on live now. He has his program coming. We're gonna be helping him
right.
launch that. We got a whole lot going on. We have
I
a whole lot going on. So stay tuned. Make sure y'all follow our Ecos page on Facebook and my page because I post a lot on there. So yes, a whole lot coming to the city.
bet that's what's up. Hey, that's why I like what you do. You're moving mountains, and you know what I mean. You ain't taking no prisoners while you moving mountains. I love that unapologetic. You just being you and doing your thing and climbing that. You climbing that ladder and you bringing people along with you. And I'm glad that you back into the city of Pontiac. Big thanks.
Absolutely, man. Me too. Like yeah, it feels great. And I moved downtown where there's a lot of
Yeah,
development happening.
you right in the
I'm
middle
just excited. Like I know that it's about to be lit, and I want to be a part of that.
for sure. Hey, well, hey, everybody, we about to get into this tonight. We have two guests tonight going in for District 3. We have Mr. I want to pronounce it right, Mikhail
Look at him.
Goodman for District 3. He already is the current councilman right now, and we have him on the show. And then we're gonna have Don Hanna. That's also for going for District 3. And that'll be a little bit later on in the show. We're gonna open up the phone lines. We want you to go ahead to be able to go ahead and bring and put your comments on the side, like we see Max Main is doing right there. And also, we're going to be opening up the phone line for you to be able to go ahead, ask the councilman what you want to ask about, his campaign. Ask about what he's have done, what he plans to do, about his district, any concerns, comments, or support. We want to hear it all tonight. So, without any further ado, we have the good councilman, Mikhail
Come
Goodman.
on, Mikhail.
There you go.
What's up,
Woohoo!
y'all? How y'all doing?
We're
Hey,
doing pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty. Thank you for joining.
No, I'm happy to be
yeah.
here. I really appreciate it.
I love that setup. Where did you get that mic from?
Uh, I want to say Micro Center.
Mm,
You don't want to know how
how much you
much
pay?
the things cost
Nope.
that are on my desk right now. You really don't.
Oh
Mm,
wow.
Like it's definitely not as much as what Sante has put into
Yes, Fonte got a
his
whole
graph.
setup.
So
yeah.
that's a whole different level. But you don't want to know how much my office costs. You really don't.
Hey, I might have to come, check that mic out though. It look like you're dealing with, hey, this mic. If people only knew, it really only costs $10. But no, that's neither. That's neither here. It looked good though.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But yeah, again, thanks for joining on the show. Thank you for being available because I know right now you have a real tight schedule. I know that you're running a campaign, and I know how that can be busy. Not firsthand how it could be, but just being able just to see, the stress, strain, up and down, and the things back and forth, things that you guys have to do. And first of all, I'd like to thank you just giving us your time because I know it's precious commodity, and so I'd like to thank you for that. Um, First things first, Isha, is there anything that's on your mind that you want to pop off and start off with? Since you're the
Absolutely.
star co-host, go ahead, handle your business.
So what I would like to know,
Mhm.
I know that you are running. We got a couple other people running. Um, just a couple of things on because you're currently in that seat right now. Tell us why you feel like we should reelect you.
Yeah. Well, so first I want to say, to people who are tuning in, like, hi, I'm Mikhail Goodman. I'm a city council person from District 3. Um, so when I first ran, and still even now, there's this really big focus that I've had on making sure that Pontiac is a place where people like me and my family could live. I've lived in Pike my entire life. I grew up in the Riverside on Section 8 on food stamps. And for me, I went to school with kids who went through that same exact lifestyle. When I started working at ATAP, people were going through that. There were students who I was seeing come into class dealing with the same things that I was dealing with growing up. And for me, it was recognizing that if everyone's dealing with these problems, it's something that has to be addressed. It's not just a thing on the side. And being a young adult when I ran and living in a less than ideal apartment complex, it's very clear to me that housing and tenants' rights and quality was a really important thing. Like things were just not being taken care of. So when I ran, I, knocked on doors, went to go speak to people who live in the district, and I would ask them, like, I would make phone calls, ask them, what is the thing that is most important to you? What is really affecting your life? And it usually came down to, in some way, uh, their landlord is not taking care of the property. There is blight in their neighborhood because there's a property owner that's been constantly neglecting it. And so for me, that's just been my biggest focus. And so I've been working hard, really hard, on doing as much policy wise, like not doing resolutions, not, although funding things is great, not just so focused on funding things, but putting in policies that will outlast everyone on council, hopefully, and they will continue to be built upon because people deserve to have quality housing, being able to uh, fight back against their landlord when their landlord is not doing their job, being able to have a just cause for why they're being evicted, just so their landlord can't retaliate and just kick them out. Putting in things in place that way people can live in peace in Pontiac and not be constantly worried uh, about what the next day will bring when almost everyone else uh, outside of communities like ours have that level of security.
Mm,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, that was a lot. I talk a whole lot, but like this is a chance where I'm not in council where I can just
Let it go.
talk. I can just say the things that I'm really thinking on a normal basis.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So you said about the policies in place.
Hmm.
Can you elaborate on some of those
We
so that
we got a phone call, but go ahead and say what you got to say.
I mean, so that's probably the worst question you can ask me because I love policy. I'm a nerd. I was good in school. I like reading and writing things. And so for me, since we've been this term, since I've been in council, we've been able to put multiple things in place to protect tenants and also like we're technically homeowners all throughout Pontiac, between the rental escrow program that like in the first year alone saved Pontiac residents $250,000, and that's just making it to where if your landlord is not taking care of the property, like there are major concerns with your building or your apartment or the house that you're renting, you shouldn't be paying rent to someone who doesn't care about the plumbing or about making sure that you have heat or a functioning stove. So people can put their money into an escrow account with the city, and if their landlord does not fix the problem within a month, that money goes back to the tenant. There's no back pay. Uh, and let's say that the landlord fixes the problem halfway through the month. Great. The tenant gets back the half that it wasn't fixed for, and then the half that the now that the landlord's in compliance, they'll get the half of the rent minus the administrative fee for the city having run the account. So like, trying to actually hold them accountable. I believe now it's been 10 days, so now we have a just cause eviction ordinance in the city of Pontiac, which means that when your landlord decides that they're going to terminate your lease for whatever reason, they actually have to give you a reason. And I think that, we kind of take that for granted. But being able to actually have a concrete reason, but also reasons that are listed in an ordinance, because like there are specific categories. Because obviously, when you have as a landlord or as someone who owns a property, you obviously don't want a tenant destroying the property, breaking down walls and actively, destroying windows. That's absolutely a good reason to evict someone. If let's say that you're taking the house off the market to make renovations and repairs to completely overhaul the building or the apartment, that way you can rent it to someone else. That's also a reason. But removing the ability for someone to just say, I don't want you here anymore. Actually giving, by doing that, putting in some like hardcore security for a lot of people. That way, getting evicted is not just something that happens like at the whim of your landlord.
Okay, we got a question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you familiar from Max Main? Are you familiar with Section 3 or the Family Self-Sufficiency Program?
Somewhat, but not in the hardcore details, because I focus so much more on the writing policy side of this. And Section 3 is something that I've never had to legislate, especially here at the city.
Gotcha. We had a phone call. It dropped, but if that person could please call back, please do. The number in the line is open. It's 248-905-1128, 248-905-1128. So I see Mr. Goodman, Councilman Goodman. I see a lot of times you post, and you post what's happening and what you see around in District 3, and not only that, just around the city of Pontiac. Not to deviate too far where we were just there, but with the ICE situation with illegal immigration, and what is your take on that? I know where your stance is, but how is number one, what is your thought pattern on that? And as far as the citizens that it's affecting, or the citizens that it's affecting, how are you combating that, or helping them, or being able to give them some support?
Yeah, I mean, so to first give my thoughts, I don't think that people can be illegal, and that's my own personal opinion, because these borders were built around us. It doesn't matter what culture or background you come from. But beyond that, if we want to take it at a very legal, clinical sense, being in this country illegally is a misdemeanor. And I don't think that ripping apart families and snatching people off the streets into unmarked vehicles and doing half the times violence upon people who they're picking up is a acceptable response to what is a misdemeanor, especially for what often the case is people who are participating citizens of society, people who are paying taxes but are not receiving any benefits from the government, people who are having jobs, who are building families and homes and being a part of our community. I don't think that any amount of them being in Pontiac or in the country, quote unquote, illegally, is worth the response that we're seeing. And more importantly, the people who are above me, who are above my pay grade, and everyone here's pay grade, should be doing whatever is possible to have a pathway to citizenship for the migrants who come to this country, especially for the ones who live in Pontiac and who live in my community, in my district specifically. My district is a third Latina and Hispanic Spanish speaking, more than any other part of the city. And like for me, it's really important to look at the situation through that. In the beginning of the year, council passed a resolution that was vetoed by the mayor, where we simply said that the city of Pontiac doesn't agree with what's happening nationally and across our communities, and that we would do what we can, obviously within the bounds of the law, to be able to support and help the migrants and people who have moved into our community who are being affected by this. And so for me, short of being able to, do massive policies, because I one of the things is like we can't have a sanctuary city ordinance. The city of Pontiac doesn't have its own police department, so we can't control what the Oakland County Sheriff does in that amount of detail. But there are things that we have to be able to do. I think for me, being able to take direct action in my community when I see ICE or when I get information passed along to me by people who are actively doing this work, who are in the community, who are monitoring the community to protect the people who live here, I pass along that information, because that is how we keep ourselves safe. Whether we're if they're Hispanic or Latina, or if you've seen in Chicago, ICE has been abducting Black people out of apartments, snatching up children, people who have obviously lived here, who are American citizens, but because they just happen to be brown, they're being kidnapped. And so as that continues to happen, and that will unfortunately probably spread into more Black and brown communities like Detroit, like Flint, and like Pontiac, we have to be aware of that. And to Joanne's point, like I said before, you probably saw, in the United States of America, immigration coming across the border illegally is a misdemeanor. So I want you to, understand the idea that I don't think it's fair to be ripping people apart from their families and from their lives and committing violence upon them for doing what is federally a misdemeanor.
So, question.
Yeah.
I think all the information is absolutely great. And I've been watching it, and it's definitely heartbreaking. But I want to bring it back in just when it comes to being a council person. Just for our viewers to understand, when it comes to being a council person, what is the role?
Right.
Because I see a lot of time. I mean, I don't watch every Tuesday, but when I do get on, it's a, and I don't want to call it complaining, but I'd be like, that is not the city council role. Like, and we got to make sure that our community understands what your roles are, so that they're not coming down there talking about, I can't find a job. I can't, like, I have seen and heard some of the most craziest complaints. And again, I mean, I know that's a platform that's free for people to get on and share, but can you just share just a little bit on what it looks like being a city council? Because again, this race has been pretty interesting. And I'm seeing a lot where people are running on, oh, I went to an event, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That shouldn't get you a seat because you are passing out turkeys, or because you're passing out eggs, or because you, and on some real stuff. Like, we have to get people to understand that, thank you, we appreciate the gesture, but in different role and different seats, there's different responsibilities that you guys have to make sure that you are taking out. So can you just share just a little bit on what that looks like, so people can get a better understanding of exactly what it is that you are supposed to be in that seat doing?
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on something that you said at the beginning, which is look, as someone who sits at council, literally every council meeting, minus the very small handful that I've missed, I don't get upset at like the complaining or like the griping that happens from the community, because it comes from a very real place, right? I mean, people who are talking about the fact that they can't find a job is representative of the fact that in the community in Pontiac, we don't have a lot of jobs that are available to people who are paying them well-paying wages, right? They're having to leave the community. So like the things that people are saying come out of the fact that they're dealing with something that is honestly within the realm of policy, just not like in a direct sense, right? Because I think the key thing about council is we are in charge of the purse strings. We control the money and how things flow in the city, but we also are the ones that create and draft policy that the mayor then enforces. So I'm a nerd. I love information. And when I came on to council, my entire purpose for me, at least getting here, was to change the laws and policies of the city to make it better for the people who live in this community, for the majority of people who are in this community. So, and so since I've been on, my biggest thing was addressing the laws that affect our quality of life, but more importantly, affecting our tenants, affecting our renters, affecting the 64% of people in Pontiac who rent, right? I want to live in like the reality of what's currently happening. And for me, that means holding landlords and slumlords accountable. So that means you have to create city processes for that and type of enforcement. So we created a rental registry program. That way we actually do know who owns all of these different rental properties, and that they can't hide behind Shell LLC after Shell LLC after Shell LLC. That way you never know who actually owns the property. Being able to create an escrow program, that way you can stop people from paying bad tenants, because escrow programs are available to any and everyone. You can go through that process with the court, but it's also so much easier if the city can just have a simple process for you that they also can then enforce, because it creates like this really strong barrier of, okay, well, since we've inspected it and you haven't fixed it, the tenant's paying rent to us, and
Okay.
until you come into compliance, we fix it. So like there's the active part of making sure that things are funded, making
What
sure that things are getting money, but also being able to create policy that actually has long-standing effects.
one second. Go ahead, Ishbert.
No, I'm just looking at. So
Joanne.
I want to be mindful of some of the questions that's coming through.
Yeah.
Joanne, I don't know if you see. I can't see it on my phone, but
Yeah, I can see him.
Yeah.
as a
So
socialist,
I mean, so if you go to my website, I happily say that I am a democratic socialist, right? And to me, and to really anyone who identifies that way, I believe that people should not be having to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. That the money that we pay in taxes, the government that we elect, should be doing the work to improve our quality of lives. The fact that we are paying so much money in taxes, and it's going to do things like giving tax breaks to corporations, or just sitting somewhere and going to projects that the people don't necessarily want all the time, when it can be going to things like fixing our roads, like providing services that people are in desperate need of. To me, that is dramatically more important. So if caring about people and caring the fact that people are being able to live dignified, quality lives with the work that they are doing and the money that they're paying in taxes makes me a socialist, I'm happily a socialist.
All right. Let me ask you a question, because let me go to crime. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before I go to crime, I want to go ahead and ask you this: do you feel within your last 3.5 years, or leading into a total of 4 years, do you feel like what you set out to do, what the people elected you for, any promises or things that you said to your constituents, people that voted for you, do you feel like you fulfilled those promises, or have came close? Do you feel like you could have be honest, really done better, or you're learning, or you learned, or in feel like the next time around, if so blessed, you'll be able to execute these things better in a different way, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
I've obviously been learning on the job because I got elected at 21.
Hmm.
I had quite literally just finished community college and decided to run for office to represent my community. Um, but when I ran, I didn't make any promises. What I did
Okay.
say is, I will, besides the fact that I promise I'll fight for you, that I will fight for the things that I said that I'm coming to you with. And so for me, it's, fighting to hold landlords and slumlords accountable. That has been my main focus. And uh, over the last couple of years, we've made great strides. And I'm currently on track to pass a tenants' rights ordinance that would put us ahead of Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, and Lansing,
Hmm.
who they themselves have, built rather strong renters' rights, in terms of being able to provide assistance to the community. Over the last 2.5, 3 years, I've done an event called the Pullover Prevention Clinic.
Hmm.
In that, over the course of 6 events, we have fed close to 3,000 people and fixed, I want to say, like almost 700 to 800 cars. That's because, like, people obviously have a direct need. Like, people
Right.
wouldn't be coming to a resource fair and coming to get minor car repairs, like getting their headlights and taillights changed, if it was not a need. And continuously it happens, and it's because, one, they now know that that's being provided for them, to have the opportunity for things to be fixed. So I'd say that I've been doing a really good job on doing what I set out to do. Um, Obviously, everything does not happen immediately, and it takes time. But that's also why I really focus on the things that are long lasting and can't be wiped away so quickly. And that's like by creating and drafting policy.
Right. So I'm going to move on to violence issue.
Yeah.
And I know in the district, residents are, fed up with consistent violence and, fear for safety.
Mhm.
And that's, a growing concern. And residents have called for more security measures like cameras and security guards, like maybe in North Hill. Um, is there
So fun.
yeah, North Hills Farms, is there any, what have you done to kind of make the situation better there? I know, and again, it kind of goes back to what
Mhm.
Isha was saying about roles. It's like you can't do every single thing. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
what have you done to make life a little bit better for people on the crime side of things on that district? And what are you planning to do to make things better? What policies
Yeah.
do you have in mind?
So, and this is going to be like the one of those times where I kind of like talk a little bit like past safety, and well, really, I'm not. Um, Crimes
I
that
like
happen are a direct relation to people not having resources or what they need in some way.
Hmm.
Like, I hate hearing the term black on black crime, because black people live in proximity to each other. We live in communities with one another. So it's not as if we're directly targeting one another. It's crimes of proximity, right? And science, statistics, uh, the programs that have been carried out in other places around this country to better provide people resources has shown to better decrease crime than anything else. And so my biggest focus has been providing and creating those resources to be able to meet people's needs, to reduce crime preventatively and not just trying to react to it. So, I mean, again, in terms of providing actual resources, in terms of supporting uh, safe drug use, and that's going to be a hard thing for people, but like being able to provide people with Narcan at different events, to be able to support the organizations that do already do that work to decrease the number of overdose deaths, being able to increase street lighting. That way, our communities are well lit. That way, crime is decreasing in that way because people are not doing what they want under the cover of darkness.
Mm.
Like, a lot of my work especially when it comes to safety, has been about trying to prevent these things, these tragedies from happening in the first place. Because I think that is much more important than always being in a reactive position. And, because like we can say that we need more police. And the thing is, like, police need to be able to focus on the job of actually handling like dangerous crime. They shouldn't be responsible for dealing with mental health crises or dealing with things that do not require a possible escalation in violence. And so I think the biggest and most important thing that I've been doing is focusing on making sure that the city is doing what it can to prevent crime from even happening in the first place.
I'm gonna ask one more, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Ms. Branner here. I remember, man, it was a couple years ago when some tragic happened when young lady was killed, young baby girl was killed, and the city came up with the crime prevention team.
Whatever happened to that?
I don't know what happened to it. I remember when it popped up. I don't know what happened, but anyway. But anyhow, I remember they had a police officer from Flint come to the city council meeting, and he was talking about this. I think something a proposition came up or a proposal came up about cameras or about things like that. I know you had strong opinions against cameras, as far as I believe that's what it was, like a street.
So the thing that I was specifically against were the Flock license plate reader cameras.
Okay, okay. Why? Tell us why.
So actually, this loops us back to what's happening currently with ICE. So I want to argue that a lot of communities prior to Flock had community safety before we had cameras. So let's start there. But unfortunately, the data that is collected by Flock, which is shared with police departments and is also held by Flock itself, that data can be shared with different agencies, different organizations, and across the country. Since the new term of the president that we currently have, law enforcement agencies have been sharing Flock data with ICE and assisting in deportations. Now, there's no proof that that's happening in Pontiac yet, although I've made inquiries asking for information to see if our sheriff's department is or not. But there are multiple cities, multiple communities across the country where that information has been directly shared with the people who are not ripping families apart in communities across the country. And I think that, again, to come back to the point, we had community safety prior to having Flock cameras. And I don't believe that they've been the golden bullet and stopped, no pun intended, stopping all the crime. I think that there are more effective ways that we can prevent crime, being able to do restorative justice that does not require us becoming a monitoring heavy, camera heavy government or police state, if we're going to be completely honest about it.
Okay.
Isha, I know we got some questions, but Isha, go
Yes.
ahead. Yep.
Joanne she's on it. She said,
On
"How do
fire.
you?" Is that? Am I saying her name right? How do you plan on obtaining resource tax dollars to fund these programs to help low income individuals?
I happily will answer this question, although I wish Joanne would have talked to me more when she lived in the city of Pontiac.
Joanne is on it. Thank you, Joanne, for
Yes.
being so engaging.
So when it comes to resources, there are community organizations that already do work. I don't think that there is any problem with governments and individuals partnering with existing organizations, but also you can be creative. Not everything has to cost massive amounts of tax dollars. I mean, the policies that I've been passing, for example, are focused on providing people the enforcement of a governmental entity to make their living situations better. That those tax dollars are already being spent on employees. Why not have those employees more effectively doing what needs to be done for the people? When it comes to like the pullover prevention clinic, sure, there is a cost that is being spent to, cover food for people who may not even eat that day with the amount of homeless people that have been fed by that food. But also it acts as a catalyst to bring in dozens of organizations who provide resources that the city is not paying for, the car repairs that the city is not paying for. And so being able to connect resources, being able to act as a catalyst, as a funnel, act as a supporter for resources that already exist is one of the greatest ways that the city can provide these resources. And that's honestly what I feel like I've been doing, working with existing organizations, working with existing programs to connect people with the resources that already exist, while also being able to find out where the holes are. That way, when money does need to be spent from the city, we can be very dedicated and very specific about it.
We should have had Joanne on this call.
Or
Joanne,
she could call in.
She
I
would be
mean,
your co-host.
I'm gonna
Joanne, I can't keep up, honey. I can't.
I'm gonna put the phone number back up here so you can see it real well. Anybody, I mean, Joanne, if you would like to call in real quickly, we'll give you 2 minutes to
She's
state your.
asking great questions. She
Yeah,
really is.
we give you 2 minutes to go ahead and state, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go ahead and state what you want to state to Councilman. 248-905-1128, and he will answer it. Give your
Max
fingers.
Lane made a comment, but I
Yeah.
can't really see it either. I can't see it for a minute. I
Let's
don't
see.
know why.
Let's see what Max said.
My next question is gonna be about the M1.
Yeah. So do you want to read Max? He's on the screen. I got it on the screen right here. Can
So
you see
it
it?
says Mikhail is only 25. He has a bright future ahead of himself. Very well spoken. However, anyone that breaks the law, okay, it came down.
Anybody? What do you say? Anybody that breaks anyone that breaks the law and tears their family apart, he had to learn the hard way. So I guess he may be talking about the ICE situation, like where where some people are breaking the law, where they feel like even if it's a misdemeanor or whatnot.
Yeah.
Joanne, go
We
ahead.
can agree to disagree on that one. That's because that applies to whether it be people coming over here, quote unquote, illegally, or the fact that we shouldn't have been tearing apart Black and Brown communities, specifically Black communities like Pontiac, Detroit, and Flint, over marijuana. We've learned that the drug war destroyed our communities and it didn't have to.
Okay,
This is
Mikhail.
a very similar case.
Okay. All right, you get 2 points from me.
Right. Joanne got another one. I mean, Joanne, you might as well call, but let me see. Do you feel the American taxpayers should pay millions of dollars for free health care for illegal immigrants?
So I will come back to a thing that I mentioned earlier. Illegal immigrants, and since we want to keep using that term, although it's not correct, migrants who have come over undocumented, work jobs in the United States. There are companies who hire them, which we can have a whole separate discussion about the laws that these companies are breaking that we're not holding accountable, but yet we're holding accountable the people who they are exploiting and having work. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not even listening because
I was going in.
Question.
Let's address CC. What's going on? You want to read that, Aish?
It says, how are we helping North Hill Farms deal with the terrible treatment by the office and being charged ridiculous fees? And why do they got to go to the liquor store to pay rent? Is this really? So that is, first of all,
no,
that's
true. You're
deep. That's deep. But again, is this a city council issue?
Well,
right.
So let's talk about
Next man, don't call in.
So let's talk about that, because that is a problem, because I've heard about that. And unfortunately, North Hill Farms is under this whole kind of separate situation because they're directly under HUD, right? Which is the Department of Housing and Urban Development. But one of the things I'm actively pushing through council right now is a limit on late fees, and also a disclosure of fees, where any fee that's going to be regularly charged to you has to be told up front and explained why to you. That's the first thing. But these are the things that like policies go in to touch, because
What's the number to call? Jermaine, it's on the.
Yep, it's at the bottom scrolling down. It might be a little bit too small, but let's go ahead and
Jermaine a
pop it
little
up.
slow. That's all.
Because like these are the type of things that policies address. Because not only are the people at North Hill Farms not able to pay their rent anywhere but the liquor store, they also can no longer pay parts of their rent at different points in time. You either have to have the full amount to pay it right then and there, or you can't pay it at all.
So let me ask you a question. Is this a council member issue?
Yes, I mean I would say so in two ways. Yes and no. As a council member, there is policy that I can push to try to hold the office of North Hill Farms accountable, but also to change.
I agree, CC.
Yeah, like to me, this feels like a thing that should hopefully be addressed by a policy that I'm actively pushing right now. Because if HUD is not going to do their job of holding North Hill Farms accountable, the city has to do more and to be a little bit more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Please call in 248-905-1128. 248-905.
So my question, my
1128.
next question, what makes you the best candidate?
Well, so before we get there, so I see a comment that says like, "Why haven't I interacted with the community of North Hill Farms?"
Okay,
I have on multiple occasions. There, I mean, not to give anecdotal stories, there was a point in time earlier this year where I sat outside of North Hill Farms in my car for multiple hours because an elderly man who was without his medication, who was having a mental health crisis, was being evicted. North Hill Farms had actively thrown his stuff outside, and I sat there until I was able to somehow get in contact with his family member who was able to get him and take him to a hotel that I was able to get him in Madison Heights. I sat there until after dark, drove the man to the bathroom. Because to me, like that is unfortunately the part of being a council person. I think some people believe that they're below that. I think some people might feel that they don't have to do that type of work. But that, I mean, if anything, that shows how like directly and personally involved I am, because like it's not just a person in North Hill Farms. I didn't know the man's name before I went over there, and I learned it simply sitting there talking to him and trying to call for resources. I love every part of my community, every single part of it. I have been to North Hill Farms. I've been to Walden Park Manor. I've been to Walden Park Manor North. I live on Kennett and Garden Court. I've been to Grosvenor North. I am in probably more than anywhere else our apartment communities because that is where the disinvestment has been. That is where the abuse is, on top of the fact that individual single family landlords are also not taking care of their properties and not helping their people.
Okay.
All right. All right. What are we? I know, Ish, you want to move on to another, but let's see what she say right here. What are we going to do to make North Hill Farms safe for these kids? I know crime is high everywhere, but all these grown folks acting a fool.
So let me just say something real fast because what I do notice, and this is no shot to anybody that hasn't been making comments, we gotta also hold ourselves as a community accountable. We can't put all this pressure on the city council, and that's what a whole lot. It's like, what are y'all gonna do? What are we gonna do as a community? And I think that's where we need to start, because of course we can have council people coming in and they can be crazy, not interactive. Are we going to sit around and wait for them to figure it out? We have to do better as a community and start really doing our part. And that's where I'm at, because I see a lot of, well, what is the council? What are the mayor? What is this? What is that? I get that. Like, they have their responsibility. That's why I asked Mikhail earlier, like, what are y'all roles? Because I want people to understand, like, they do have certain things that they absolutely have to do. And as a community, we have to do certain things as well. And I think we can do a better job at just making sure that we're engaged and we are, being involved in school, being involved in, different activities in the community, just being a voice, coming and being a part of the city council and listening to what is happening so that we can speak up. We shouldn't put all the pressure on the city council. Not saying that they shouldn't do their jobs, but as a community, we do have a job to do as well.
Max Bain just called, but he hung up. We had you online, bro. Go ahead and call back, man. I'm calling you right
Yeah.
now. Do not hang up the phone, Max. But
And
he hanging up. Go. All right. Go
and,
ahead, Mike.
and before you get there, I kind of want to talk about some of the things that I am fighting for to actively address, like the community safety part of it. That again, like goes beyond just policing, because again, I think calling the police after a crime has already been committed, damage has already been done. I think the biggest thing that we can do is prevent it from happening. So like putting the money and resources into having a mobile crisis response team. So that way people that are specifically trained to handle mental health and nonviolent 911 calls and letting police focus on the actual violent crime. Having youth justice prevention programs. Like we've done that with the group violence intervention program, although I would love to see it with more support and more funding and from the administration uh, to be able to better get into the communities and work with people to try and address the issues before they escalate. Being able to have recidivism reduction, like I think one of the biggest things is making sure that people who have already interacted with police, with the jail system, don't have to do so again. Making sure that we're having like reentry and expungement programs that support returning citizens, and like actually helping them reintegrate back into the community. I mean, I think one of the biggest things that I've done that doesn't get a lot talked about is one of the things that I created policy on and passed through almost 2 years or a year and a half ago is making it to where it's legal for landlords to discriminate against people who have a criminal record. Because I believe that if you have served your time, you should be able to come home and be able to live somewhere. And I don't think it's fair that people can say, you went to jail for a couple of years because you, again,
That's right.
did a crime
That's
and you've now come out. You've served your time. I don't
absolutely.
think that you should be forced to live as a second class citizen in your own community. And the fact that we do that in so many cases, not, let's say Pontiac in particular, but all over, all across our communities, all across the country, we are setting people up for failure to unfortunately do crimes again because that seems like a pathway for them. It's a pathway that they know. Like we need to address the drug crisis that's in our communities by having trainings, by having Narcan, by having prescription disposal events. Like there are so many things that we can do that prevent the problems. I would rather prevent the problems than have to go to another funeral, because to me, once you have to call the police, it arguably is too late.
Okay. Regina said that's right. The community has to be accountable. We must have what is this? We
Attainable
must
resources.
attainable.
Yeah.
I'm being slow tonight, Regina. Forgive me. Please forgive me.
So moving on to your, I think the next thing that you were going to say, Isha Brown, I want to say that we were going to have Don Hannah following Councilman Goodman. She won't be able to notify me. Not too long ago, I just saw that she won't be able to make it, but she is the opponent of Councilman Goodman. And with that being said, she won't be on tonight. So she has some things to take care of that popped up, I believe. But Ms. Browner, with that being said, knowing that information now, what you was about to say, I think what you was about to lead in.
Okay, so I'm sure people that's watching want to hear more about the M1. I have this is my thing. I got an opportunity to go to M1. It was a couple of us that went. We stood where the cars was at. We heard a lot of the noise. Majority of the noise was on Woodward that day. And I just want to know, because I know you were one of the council members that voted against it. And I seen a lot of, oh, well, this noise, it was a big thing last weekend. You see a lot of the posts and all that stuff, which again, I'm not dismissing people's opinion, but I'm like, we have bigger issues within the community. So I really want to know, like, what was what's your feelings towards that, and why
Mhm.
did you decide to vote against it.
Yeah, I mean, so I can agree with you, Isha, that in my opinion there are probably some larger issues that we can be dealing with, but at the same time, the people who live directly near M1 have been talking about how M1 has not been an improvement on their lives. I too also went to M1 to stand by the track, listen to the cars go around prior to that vote. And for me, it was, well, one, I went at it was still with some level of suspicion because I feel like they were driving some intentionally quiet cars. Because if you know cars at all, a Toyota Celica on a track is not the same as a Hellcat, right?
So
And,
let me say this: I have seen a Hellcat on the road. Like me and my kids went and listened to them race around.
mhm,
I've seen it, and I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh my God, it's it." No, they
mhm,
shouldn't be here. What I'm saying is like, come on now.
yeah, but
It's
like,
not as I heard a lot more noise on Woodward
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
than I did inside the track. And I'm just being honest. This is nobody paid me to say it. I'm not getting any money from M1. I'm just like, and I get it. I don't live like a street over from M1. So
yeah,
I haven't experienced that piece, but it's really a big deal. So let's just say
yeah.
M1 leave. What's gonna
What's
first of
going to
all,
take its place?
who's going to replace it? And can you tell us how much M1 is paying a year
Mm.
on taxes?
I had that number. Mike knows it by heart because he's actually had to talk about this more than me.
Uh-huh.
Um, so like yes, let's acknowledge that M1 is a massive tax base for the city of
Mhm.
Pontiac, and that if they were to go away, we would need to find someone else to take that space. However, I feel like if we're doing our jobs, we'll be able to do that. But this is not me getting into a debate whether or not I want M1 concourse here or if I don't want them here.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I think the biggest conversation that can be had about M1 is the people in the community do not feel as if M1 has been a good community partner to the majority of people. And I say that, and I'm going to just be blunt, I feel like people would not be as up in arms about M1 concourse if they were doing more directly with the community. Because I know that they've done events with the community, that they've supported multiple different organizations, and I'm happy that they have. But when the people were sold the idea that M1 was going to be this thing that the entire community can regularly go to, and then it's not that, or that they're priced out of going to these events, or again, simply like, if you're going to make all this noise, you know, do more things directly in that neighborhood to improve their quality of life. But the fact that they haven't done that consistently, and the people feel as if they're not being listened to by M1, I would be upset too.
Okay.
So
So
I,
you
I,
said
I think
something
that this
what
really goes more into. I'm going to cut you off. I think this goes more into like, what does it mean to be a good corporate neighbor and provide things for the community in which you are inhabiting? Because like there is a give and take to being a real neighbor and a corporate neighbor.
okay, so are you saying that because people can't afford to be an M1, that's legitimate for them to complain about the noise?
Nope. So back to the last thing I said. It's about M1 being a good corporate partner, and about the people not being listened to. Because I feel like over the last few years, people have been giving the same complaints about M1 concourse. And if they would have done more in the process of trying to actually talk to and communicate with people to provide some of the things that they are asking for, because again, M1 inhabits a really specific neighborhood, they could do more in that neighborhood. And I guarantee you that people would probably still be upset about the noise, but they wouldn't be as upset because they'd be like, look, they're loud, sure, but they're doing things that are helping the community.
So what did the council members agree for the M1 to do for the community? Because at the end of the day, they are a business.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm looking at, because again, a lot of people know that I am partnering with UWM. I
Mhm.
don't never go knock on their door and say, I need money. I need a whole lot of money, which I know they have a whole lot of money. I just do my part, and then they come in like we use their facility for free. They adopt some of our families. We're on their platform, like and I'm super grateful for what they do. But I'm not begging them to
But
provide because at the end of the day, they still have to make money.
but Isha, you're getting to the point that I'm talking about.
Okay, I just want to make sure
You,
because
you
what
are
it
you are
sounds like is like
you are
what can
precisely
M1
getting to the point
do
I'm talking
for
about.
us?
When like, let's be clear, because again, I am not a I am not a fan of bending over backwards for any business. That's just me. To me,
Mm-hmm.
the people in the community come first, because I know that we need to have a corporate tax base and tax base in general, but we are legislating for the people who live here. And so when you mention M1, not M1, when you mention UWM, you mention that UWM adopts these families. They allow you to do your event there on a regular basis. They have allowed arts and technology, where I went. There were many a day that gym class, when our gym was being built, when we moved into that building, was held over at UWM.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, no matter how I feel about, big business or not, I would say that UWM has been a good corporate partner for the city of Pontiac.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whatever issues that people have with M1, I've heard some things, but I've heard nowhere near enough. And to have that gigantic of a footprint, to have that many employees, I have not heard as many things about UWM as I have M1. And that's not saying that UWM is dramatically better than M1 in terms of how they treat their employees or their day-to-day stuff. But people don't complain about UWM because UWM is an active, regular participant in
Mm.
the day in, day out workings of this community, of groups in this community. If I remember correctly, like Pontiac United was having multiple of their classes there, like consistently. That is the example of being a good corporate partner. I mean, with Blair McGowan and the Crowfoot, the fact that like he has his events, he charges money for that. But I feel like that man also goes out of his way many times to allow community organizers and groups to be able to have space there because he feels that the issue is important. And I feel like again, that's being a good corporate partner, a good business partner in a community.
And you have to look at also the availability of M1. It's very different.
Yeah.
UWM have a huge space. Honestly, me looking, I mean, I get out because I'm the type of community leader that I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
I'm not looking for no handouts. I'm looking for value partners, long term, building relationships, showing them what we are able to do, and not saying what can y'all do for the community. No, I'm saying how can we benefit on both ends. And I hate to say it, but I wouldn't be me if I wasn't real with it. It's just a lot of unnecessary complaining about M1
Mhm.
because M1 don't fit people's pockets. And that's not, they didn't come in and say, hey, we got to make sure we can be affordable. No, we're going to come in here and make sure we can make some money.
Right. Right. Right.
But they pay a whole lot of taxes in our community. And I don't think enough people is speaking on that. They're not going anywhere. Just like Joanne said, they're not
Oh
leaving.
yeah.
They pay a lot of money, and the best thing that our community needs to be trying to focus on is either A, how to adjust to the noise from time to time, because the event, which was crazy, that special event, everybody made it seem like it's a everyday noise,
Mhm.
and it wasn't.
So, but again, I think at the end of the day, well, so here's two things. I never said that I wanted M1 to leave.
Mhm.
And again, they're not leaving. The amount of money that has gone into investing in that property, like that's not happening. Nor am I calling for it to happen. But paying taxes is not the end of being a corporation or a business in a community, because if that's the case, why should we be holding Marathon accountable in Southwest Detroit for massively putting methane and pollution in the community, causing some of the highest asthma rates and cancer rates anywhere in Michigan, because they're paying taxes?
So I
And
just
so
got a
like
tip.
it's like to me, like, sure, they can pay taxes, but I think that like beyond having businesses here, we want good corporate partners
So you're
who not only just pay taxes here, because taxes are how we fund city services. Because I think Joanne doesn't think that I know how taxes function in terms of how we fund things. Like the taxes that we get from M1 make the things that I am legislating possible. But I do not think that money is always more important than people's quality of life.
So you're saying moreover, what you're saying in a nutshell is that you want you want more participation, community involvement with M1. That's more opportunities for people to
But
have.
why when it's a
And,
racetrack?
and not just M1, not just M1, but as the city of Pontiac continues to grow
Mhm.
and we bring in more businesses, I would also want those businesses to be good corporate partners. We have the county coming to downtown Pontiac. The county coming to downtown Pontiac, sure, they're bringing a huge tax base of people who work technically right now just outside of Pontiac.
Mhm.
That'll be a huge boost to our income tax. But I want them to do more than just plop employees down here, and I have confidence that they'll do that. And so, like, because again, like they're doing an active redevelopment. They're doing things that, and I hope when it's completed, will truly benefit the community. But if they were just coming down here to just, take a building and just take over downtown and only build it as like this is the county campus and people can't come here, that'd be an entirely different story.
Okay.
I honestly think focusing more. I'm not gonna say focusing more on getting families to understand that it is their responsibility to make sure that their life is where it needs to be. Like I just feel like we are looking at businesses saying, y'all need to come in here and help us get to the next level. I guess I'm wired a little bit different. And
Mm.
my feeling on it is like they're here work around it. Like not saying like they should be having this crazy noise and all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, we are putting a lot more responsibility on these businesses and not on our families. So I do have a tip on what's happening with M1, and I would like to share just so that people understand what is going on with M1. So can I just read it real fast? It says they do commercial advertisement for Pontiac, which increases our traffic and helps our businesses nearby when people drive by. That is a fact. And again, I don't have no real connection with M1. I guess because I was I wasn't born in City of Pontiac, but I was raised here, and I just learned how to just get stuff done.
Mhm.
And I do that with not depending on other people to make it happen. And so my thought is just a little bit different. And this is no shot to no one, and not saying like their opinions doesn't matter. I just feel like we spend a lot of time on their noise when we got people sleeping. Every morning I come to my building and somebody's sleeping on my doorstep.
Mhm.
I just moved downtown Pontiac 3 months ago. I have never experienced that, even though I know homelessness is here. But
Mhm.
to come to my building every morning by
So like,
7:30,
wow.
and I have to say, "Hey, y'all okay? Y'all not dead?" To
Right.
make sure that they are good. They're at my doorstep.
And
And we're
that's what our taxes should be
complaining
used
about
for.
noise. But I'm gonna try to be calm. When you
Yeah.
got people who are coming in and saying, "Can I get some of that food at your table?" Because we don't have any food. So I'm sorry if I get a little
Mhm.
too personal with this, because I think it's insane where people are complaining about noise at a company that is putting what 8 point something million in taxes with a little bit of noise. When we're not talking about noise that's happening in Northfield Farms, we're not talking about killing that's happening in the
Mm.
Riverside. We're not talking about how our roads are not done. We are complaining about noise,
Mm.
and
So,
it is crazy to me. Which this is nothing towards you, Mikhail. I think
mhm.
you are doing a great job with just being just vocal about certain things. This is nothing personal to you,
Mhm.
but when I'm dealing with things we can't even get money for housing, training. Everybody want to do training and everybody want to do this and that, and I don't really see nothing happening. But we got people sleeping at my doorsteps, sleeping in bushes, literally downtown. And I can go to Royal Oak and I never see nobody sleeping down there. They don't even allow that to happen. But in
But
our own community, we are where we are embracing issues when it comes. Oh, let's hear about y'all complaining about noise.
but Isha, to relate it to that, that kind of still goes to a larger point.
Mm-hmm.
So so again, I am very happy that M1 Concourse pays taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the money that we are getting, because because when it comes to businesses, we shouldn't be giving out massive long-term tax breaks, because taxes are important to funding programs, and we should be using those taxes to help the people before they end up homeless and having to be outside on the doorstep of your building or any other building. But
Yeah,
before you end up outside homeless, you are typically couch surfing homeless. And before that, or in somewhere in between there, you are in your car homeless. Or you're at the moment where you are about to be homeless. We should be intervening before it gets that dire. And that is the purposes of using taxes to fund resources.
that's not
But we
what's
can't
happening.
do that. But we can't do that if we cannot take in money.
Goodman would be a hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a
Yes, sir.
minute. Jermaine Maxman said Goodman would be a better activist.
Some people think I am too opinionated to be an author.
I was listen, this is interesting. So even going on with the M1 conversation, and I do agree with a lot of what Isha say. I don't know. Of course, they're not going anywhere. I don't know where. How? I mean, of course, you could replace M1s if the city does the right things, or like decisions moving forward, and possibly, hopefully, be able to get that tax base back. But I think a lot of people do forget what that land was before it was acquired by them. It was a toxic wasteland. You know what I mean?
They are okay with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are absolutely okay with.
I'd rather it be noise than a toxic wasteland.
Me too.
Because that's what it was before it was acquired. Because after General Motors, so it was a big cleanup that had to be done. So,
but not everyone who is
Yeah.
not everyone who is upset about the noise feels that way.
and here go number one.
And I think it's
That's
deeply
not what I
important
see.
that
But I want to say this. But hold up, number one. I grew up in District 1, and that's where I lived. And I actually wrote a letter to the CEO and basically like 30 other people that's there that work there in one, letting them know that you're basically a block away from where I grew up, and and told them the importance of what I feel about that neighborhood. And so I really understand and feel what people are going through over there. So
I like to ask a question, considering that I am not the council person for District 1.
right.
And
So
M1 Concourse is
Yeah.
on the complete other side of the city from me.
Right.
Miss Boo, I admire you so much. And so I see her post. She says noise is an environmental hazard.
And professionally, I can agree with her because that's what I did for
I
work.
don't,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm trying to get on people to understand. I respect everybody's opinion, but the amount of noise about this noise, we're not having that same energy on real life major issues within our own community. That's what I'm saying. Like we will gravitate towards something that can be even worked on, fixed on, or whatever. But we should have that same energy when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to people who don't have no jobs, when it comes to education. Look at the city of the school board. Our kids are literally not really at a level where they need to be reading. I have to pay private school for my kids to get a proper education when I am 2 minutes from the school that my kids can attend. That is not okay. That's unacceptable. When I was going in the Pontiac schools, my parents didn't have no concerns. I have more concerns than the law allows for my kids to attend, and I have to pay over $30,000 for my kids to attend when I am a Pontiac City resident. So that's what my issue is. I'm not saying like, oh, the noise is, put your headphones on. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if we got that much energy on noise, we should have that much energy on our kids' education. We should have that much energy on homelessness. We should have that much energy on people not getting jobs. And the list can goes on and on and on. That's what I'm saying. That's what's frustrating, because I'm running an organization where you got families coming in that don't have nowhere to stay. They're sleeping at my doorstep, two to be exact. It's a woman and a man every day. At this point, I'll be like, y'all need some coffee? He got a little bag for y'all to wash your little face. But we are having issues about, it's just so loud. I get it. Let's
So
bring the same energy on making sure human life is being handled the same way.
I completely agree with you, which is why, and I would love to move away from M1 and talk about the things that I have done, because again, those things are important, and I've been working on those other things, because again, like talking about our homelessness problem, that is a problem that has to be resourced and legislated, and a problem that needs to be solved. But it's not a problem that can just be solved by, I think, relying on individual community groups. The city has to get involved in some way in that. But again, like these are all things that are interconnected. None of these things are individual. I think that this noise issue situation is not separate completely from our homelessness problem. Our homelessness problem is not separated from the fact that people are struggling to find jobs. It is not separate from people that struggle. People are struggling to find and maintain healthcare. Like all of these problems are interconnected, and I think that we lose that when we start talking about individual issues. But I think we also lose the fact that they are deeply connected. I don't want us to lose that. So I think I want to answer a question that I saw, which is like, what have I brought to my district in the last 4 years besides the car clinic? Well, I mean, it depends on what way you want to look at it. Again, I talk a lot about I talk a lot about policy, but one of the things I fought for was $250,000 in homelessness prevention money, with 50,000 of it going directly to District 3, going to Hope Shelter, and going to the Baldwin Center to fix their clothing closet that provides free clothes and toiletries and resources to the community.
Is
And
that
also,
operating now?
yes,
From what I've seen, it's closed down.
I mean, it should
I
not
have
be.
not seen
And
it
also,
open
there's been
in
a
over a
somewhat
year.
change in leadership, but that was over a year ago in terms of getting that money to both them and Hope Shelters. Being able to, since I've been on council, being a huge advocate for the transit millage, being able to expand transit routes all over the city of Pontiac. That was work that I did day in and day out, advocacy wise, to make sure that the city of Pontiac was included in that. Being able to oversee the repaving of the roads in North Hope Farms that has happened since I've been in office, the replacement of city streetlights, the stop sign on Baldwin, which I know is controversial, but is to stop people from getting run over on a regular basis in an area. Also fixing the streetlights, that way people can see in that area. Bringing the speed humps to now 6 different streets throughout District 3. Being able to bring major funding for North Kiwanis Park, for Lakeside Park, and for Cherry Lawn Park, work that's going to be groundbroken, I believe, right here in the next couple of weeks or so. Like, I am focused on doing more long-standing things for the city of Pontiac than doing things that are like murals or small, like little individual parties. I love having my district meetings, inviting people to come out and let me know what's happening in the district, what they need me to take care of, and also help me inform the things that I should be looking at to address policy wise. Like all of my housing work is not purely out of just me thinking that I need to do it, but it's from the fact that one, 2/3 of Pontiac are renters, but so many people that I talk to on a regular basis talk about the lack of quality in their housing. Cece, no, not all the lights are working, and it's a constant work that we're doing because, unfortunately, decades prior to me, and I believe prior to the previous council, unfortunately, they did work where they put the wires for all the street lights inside concrete, which makes them easily broken and hard to fix. But one of the things that DPW has been especially good about, especially in this past year, is chasing down all of those different out street lights and being able to improve the infrastructure opposed to just fixing it. That way they don't go out as much. And that's like an ongoing process. We've received money to do it. We've been doing it all across the city. And again, we've been working through District 3.
Wow.
So, what's the plan with if you are to be reelected? What is your plans when it comes to the streetlights?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is improving the infrastructure that we have, because again, unfortunately, like we can continue to fix them piecemeal all we want to. Every time a streetlight gets hit, it will oftentimes knock out an entire section due to the way that the infrastructure was done. So it's about replacing and upgrading these chains of streetlights that are going out, uh, and continuing to do like just quality monitoring. It's a problem that we have to work through. I think that it's easy to say that, oh, well, it was done a while ago, so we can't fix it. But the thing is, like, we're going out, fixing them temporarily, or if we have the ability to in that moment, being able to rip it up and upgrade it. I think we've done that on, I believe, Perry Street, on MLK. You can tell with the super bright, brand new LED streetlights, and we're doing everything we can, and we're continually expanding to upgrade more and more of them.
Let,
So CC made a comment.
mhm.
I
Go ahead.
can't see it, but it came up and then it came down. So about
Let,
the youth.
oh, right here. Let's see. Let's see. She says, "What about the youth in the district? How can you or how can we engage? How can we engage with them?" That's
Yeah,
CC Hinkle.
I mean, I think it's really sad that when there was an employee at the Baldwin Center who was doing insanely amazing work. Heather Duenas doing a like summer program for the kids like in District 3, and I think even beyond that, to give them somewhere to go during the summer. 'Cause I think we have to be involved with our kids. One of the things I tried to do on council, although it didn't work out that way, was one of the locations that we were looking at for the youth recreation center would have been the current Wisner Stadium property. That didn't work out, but I did fight a decent amount to try to bring the youth rec center directly to District 3, because I think more than anywhere else in the city, we kind of have a lack of like existing resources and places to go, or just like a lack of connectedness. I think a lot of things have not been put in our district. Trying to upgrade the parks, we've put in new soccer goals, but that's just not enough. That's why we have this investment to try to make the parks that we already have in our community actually worthwhile to continue to go to. But we need to continue to create programs. I think that, with the building of the new youth recreation center, it'll be great trying to transport as many people there as possible. And there are ways that we can, get into that and how to do that, because I think it's possible. I mean, the fact that there is paratransit that exists for multiple other things, the city can come up with a way. I mean, the fact that Power Company has been able to figure out how to bus kids every single weekend, I think that the city of Pontiac should be smart enough to be able to do so. But I think that we also need to like not lose the forest for the trees. Youth recreation doesn't just end at the rec center. So I mean, I think we need to continue to figure out how to provide programming in our neighborhoods, in the places that already exist, that may either be being underutilized, or if places are already being a hub for people, the city should do more to support and uplift them.
Hmm.
So is there any youth programs currently other than the Baldwin Center that is currently not operating with youth programs inside of District 3?
In District 3, I mean, I believe the only thing, uh, the little bit of work that the Yapple Learning Center is able to do with Miss Loretta every now and then, but I know she's been going through a lot. And then the Azteca boxing program being pulled back up. But unfortunately, there is not a whole lot of current spaces that we've been able to do things in District 3, and not a lot of current organizations that focus on doing youth recreation.
Hmm.
Which is why
And
like
District
the big focus has been trying to connect them with the programs that the city are doing. On multiple situations, I've had the youth recreation program come out to our district meetings to tell people about the programs that we have, to sign people up, because I think that there is no good in having programs if we're not getting people to participate in them and not making them worthwhile for our community. So I think like the youth recreation center is a massively important thing. My cat's deeply bothering me right now. It's a really important thing, but we also need to recognize that youth recreation goes beyond just a recreation center.
We got a lot. I mean, the comment section on fire. We really can't keep up. It's it's really going. You know what I
And
mean?
I'm not getting them until later on.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of his questions his answers.
Yeah.
Me personally want to know, like, what is your plans? Yeah, District 3 don't have a whole lot. It's very low when it comes to the voting. What is your plans on getting more engagement? Like, that's what I'm more interested in. And I like, I know you do the clinic and things like that, but what are some other programs that you can set in place within District 3? Because it needs a lot of work. That is like,
So are you specifically asking about how to raise voter turnout?
no, yes and no. I feel like if you, as a council person, if not even that, just as a city, if we have more things to offer, I guess for me, I'm coming from the Gordy Lindsay's, the power company programs. That's what I grew up on. It was always things to do within my own community, and if I had issues on getting there, we walked. It was safe. Like, we didn't have an issue saying, "Mom, we'll be back," and we come home safe and sound. It's nothing going on within our community. We're literally relying on the youth program. What if parents don't have transportation to get to these programs? What are we looking to do within those communities to make sure that our kids are active and not forgotten? So, and I know District 3 is I know you mentioned, like, there's not a whole lot of space for us to do certain things, but how can we create space?
So the thing is, Isha, I did mention that, which is, again, youth recreation doesn't just end at the youth recreation center. We need to bring the programs into the community, whether it be at the park.
I didn't hear you elaborate on how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it truly and honestly depends, right? Because there are multiple parts of it. If we want to have sports programs, being able to actually bring sports programs to the place where people are going. I put another soccer goal inside of North Kiwanis Park because there was not one, and that is a deeply Hispanic Latina community that unfortunately has to go all the way to Aaron Perry Park to play soccer with actual goals. Being able to continue to invest in that park, that way people don't feel the need to have to go as far, is deeply important. There's a reason why we're putting the Columbia connector in currently, to be able to make it to where the people in District 3 who have honestly not had a wealth of options to go do things will be able to walk directly to what is going to be Pontiac Oaks, what is going to be the county park, being able to walk directly straight through Columbia safely across Telegraph to a county park. That will be a thing that people in District 3 have the opportunity to do that no one else will be able to do in that same way. I think that's deeply important because we've been neglected for such a long time. Having a county park directly in our backyard and actually making it feasible, because currently you can't walk easily to Hawthorne Park. You have to walk all the way around, or you have to go through the forest and do all these things. Making a safe path that makes it more accessible to people, because that county park is going to have programming. And I think it's important that instead of just having the programming that we already currently have, we need to listen to the community and create more programming. Or again, the program that does exist, supporting it so where it can be in more places. I mean, the fact that Pontiac United is able to, do their event, do their stuff at UWM is great. It would be great if we could also support them or whatever other organization to be able to hold a soccer game or hold a soccer tournament, being able to hold tutoring programs. These are things that are possible. We just have to continue to work towards it. Part of the reason, like, well, I don't want to pretend as if I haven't been doing things. I think it's really important that our community has access to computers and to reading resources. That's the reason why I've given the Yapo Center over in Walton Park Manor $5,000 to build a new computer lab that I've been actively helping Miss Loretta research to be able to completely overhaul that lab, which has not been given new computers in over a decade.
Mm.
Like that is a deeply important thing to me. I just because I'm not on Facebook telling the world what I'm doing constantly does not mean that I'm not doing the work. I deeply care about this community. I have lived here my entire life. I have built my adulthood here. I've been on council for now a fifth of my life. I've spent more time on council than I've spent in college. And I think all of my learning experience has been built around how can I long-term improve the quality of life for people in Pontiac that doesn't just disappear between elections. And I think that that's been my biggest goal, is making sure that whatever happens between an election, whether I win or lose, the work that has been done does not get washed away. And I think between, again, funding a youth recreation center, putting money into updating a computer lab, putting in place policies so that landlords can no longer keep screwing over people. I think that those are the top ticket items, making sure that people's life continues to improve and can't just rapidly decline out of nowhere.
Okay, so we're drawing on to the 9 o'clock hour. We're gonna probably be wrapping up in a moment. I'm gonna give you a chance to go ahead and let the people hear your more or less the things that you want to say briefly to wrap up. And because I know we're just drawing nigh, and absentee balances are out. Early voting is here, and we gonna know who's gonna be there in the next couple of weeks. So one question I wanted to ask you, and then if there's something else that Isha want to follow up, and then we'll be getting ready to close out. I wanted to ask you with the development downtown with Oakland County. I'm really excited about them coming. I'm super excited about it. We all hate to see the Phoenix Center go, but it's gone and we're moving on, right? So with the new redevelopment in the county coming down, how are you enforcing or making sure that those people that need contracts or want to work are involved in the process of rebuilding or the revitalization of downtown? Because I know that's an issue. People feel like they're not involved with the process of rebuilding downtown. How are you involved in making sure that they do what they're supposed to do as far as, from my understanding, it's initiative or some type of contractual type of thing that's going on, that they have to give opportunity to a certain amount in Pontiac or Oakland County people? I don't know, but could you talk about that and how you're supporting or enforcing?
Yeah, so there are two council people who specifically sit on a committee that handles that. So I'm not gonna, I don't have as many details as them because that's quite literally not my district. It's someone's district in particular.
Okay.
The thing I will say is it's a matter of like, one, the community benefits ordinance that we're passing, hopefully will do a lot to address that when we're doing these developments, that these jobs and things go to people who live in the community. But beyond that, I one of the things that I've heard multiple times is that from either from the county perspective or from the city perspective, that yes, there are people who are applying for these jobs or these contracts, but they for some reason don't have blase splee qualification or such and such certification. And I feel like for the past 4 years, the response to that has been, well, since you're not qualified, sorry for you. And I think that going forward, whoever the new mayor is, because this really kind of comes into that wheelhouse, is that in addition to council, is that when we see that people are very close to being able to do contract work in the city, and we see that they are one step away or two steps away, we should be providing them the assistance. That way we have contractors from our city, opposed to what has kind of, in my opinion, been this. Well, since you didn't meet the qualifications, we're moving on. I think we need to try a little bit harder to, help bring the city up and bring the people with us who are actively wanting to participate.
Okay. Isha?
Let's just say you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Like, do you plan on still being vocal about what's going on in the community?
I was a vocal teenager, then young adult before I got elected as the vice chair, comms director, and then chair of the Young Democrats of Michigan. I've been on multiple boards. I've been involved in many organizations just as a volunteer. I'm not going anywhere because there are still things that have to be fought for no matter what, whether I'm in office or not. And if I'm somehow not in office, there are still issues that have to be fought for, which means I'm still going to be participating in the city and with who the new council person is, because there is work that still has to be done. Like, the problems that we are facing cannot be done, excuse my language, half-assed. Because if we do that, people can say we did not do enough work and then dismantle the things that have been provably working for Pontiac residents. And I think more than anything, it would be horrible to go backwards when we're already making strong progress. So to me, I'm going to be involved no matter what, because I have to be. At the way that things are going, both in the negative and the positive, everyone's hands have to be on deck. And I think that, like, I love this city. I don't know any other city to call home, and so this is the place that I'm building up.
Absolutely.
And that I don't know how I would not be involved. I simply do not know a universe in which I would not be participating in what's happening in our city.
Good answer.
Thank you. So we're winding up. Councilman Gilman, is that was like almost a last pitch there, right there. But
Yeah.
is there? I know I like to thank everybody for their participation, especially you two. For really bringing and giving your time. Councilman Goodman, is there any last thing that we did not touch that you want to, touch on, that you want to speak on? It was so much kind of covered tonight, and it's a lot of passion from the participant of people that actually participated in the comment section. So I'd like to thank you, people out there that was listening. Mr. Councilman Goodman, is there anything that you would like to add before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you for having me on. Thank you, Isha, for being here, because I wasn't expecting it. I'm happy to see you, especially in your Lions gear. I just want to hopefully have the opportunity to continue representing the people of District 3, because this entire 3-4 years has been an absolute labor of love for me, because it's not fun, flashy work. At least it shouldn't be. There are many nights that I spend up researching and writing policy and trying to figure out the best way to improve our city, whether it be, fielding, getting really difficult phone calls and having to, sometimes come out of my own pocket to provide people with heaters, or provide someone with money to keep their storage unit, who then I ran into actually at my last pullover prevention clinic. But also, like, being able to, like, love this community in a way that is long lasting.
Dang.
We have a phone call. You want to take it?
Yes. Let's go.
Okay, let's take it. Let's see who it is. Caller, you on the line? Speak to us. Caller. Hold on one second. Let's see.
They be scared to talk.
All right, caller.
What up, though?
Okay, there
What's
we go.
happening?
Who we speaking to?
What's Mel?
This is the one and only Melody Free Rutherford. What up, though?
What's happening? We got 2 councils for the price of 1. What's up?
Somebody said, get on the line. I said, what's happening?
Only so many more people can show up from council. Otherwise, we'll have a quorum.
Right.
Period. What y'all talking about?
Well, we up here giving Councilman Goodman an opportunity to talk about what he's doing in his district, what he's have done, and what his thoughts and processes are for the future, and giving them a platform to speak on those types of things. So, and opening up for the public to give their feedback and concerns and comments. And he's been doing an awesome job, and we appreciate him for giving his time, because we know time is not at a premium right now. So, it's at a higher premium.
Yeah,
So,
time is money. Money is time.
Right.
I appreciate y'all. I just got on here because I seen my name, and I said, well, hey, what's happening?
Well,
I know my interview is... Yeah, you tagged me. I know my interview is next week. I'm so excited. That's going to be the most exclusive interview in the world.
I need to be a part of that.
You will be a part of it. You can all be a
Isha
part
back, right? Isha back. I don't care what she says. She ain't got nothing. She ain't got no.
You know, me and Isha get on the radio. They're going to be mad. Ooh.
No, because at the end of the day, it's not about. I hope, Mikhail, I hope you not feeling like it was like an attack, but these are questions that people want to hear about. I'll let Mel finish off, but I'm definitely going to give you your flowers, Mikhail, before we get off this call, because you held your own to be so young and 25 to be able to articulate like certain stuff. Like, I'm impressed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm impressed, and I'm extremely proud that you're not afraid to speak up and say what it is. And that's something that a lot of people want to buy. It took me years. I'm almost 43, and I'm just now getting to that place, like, whether you like it or not, this is how I feel. And I commend you for that. So keep doing your thing. Like, honestly, we need more young men like you that's going to be able to stand up and speak for what's right, whether other people on here agree with it or not. But I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to be me. If I have questions, if I feel a certain way, I want to, talk about it. And you sat in here, you held it down.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to you for sure.
Again, loving the community does not just mean that, being soft. It's being hard when you need to be against other people, about standing up when you have to, about being vocal when there is nothing like other than to say like the truth. Like, there's a reason why I know like which people are feeding the neighborhood cats, whether they be around me or whether they live in North Hope Farms. I have seen some of the most beautiful yards and put out signs for pride and beautification. And I know which people to go back to, because I know how much they've been taking care of their yards. There are new people who have moved into Pontiac in the past couple months. There was a dude who I spoke to who moved here in December while I was out on doors talking to folks, works at Easter Seals. And being able to just connect with people who, are making Pontiac their home, but also people who are developing a love here. And the best way to get people who are moving here, or people who have been here for a long time who have maybe lost love for the city or have had to move for one reason or another, the best way that we can make people love the city is by loving it ourselves. And again, that's not just being all like hippy dippy and being like, oh, well, I love the city, man. No, it's about actually doing the things that help the people here, that move the city forward. That's what real love is. Mm-hmm. So to me, I love this community, and serving in office and passing policy and doing events and knocking doors and calling people, hearing about my community. It may be annoying to some, but I tell every time someone calls me on my city office number that I'm not upset. Yeah. I'm not upset that you are calling me. I would rather you call and complain to me so I know how to fix the problem than the problem not get fixed. That's just what it is. I think love is a thing that is an action word. And I think that I actively love this community, and I'll continue to do that as long as I can.
And we appreciate your service and what you have done. And again, being such a young man and being able to obtain a seat is not an easy feat to do, and be able to and grow into your maturity. So I like to really thank you for what you did tonight, coming on. And it gave you a greater opportunity to go ahead. Miss Don Hannah wasn't able to pop on or do whatever, but we appreciate the time that you gave. I want to give a extension to it's only a couple of more weeks left, so if we got any more council people, Miss Milana, I seen her. I'm gonna reach out to her.
It's time.
She
Get on
might
here.
be next. You know what I mean? 'Cause I know some people done flew under the radar, ain't been on the show
Hey,
yet.
y'all, I'm going to see y'all later. I'll
right.
be on there when you call.
Oh, Neil's still on
Oh,
here.
man, hey,
I didn't know
hey,
what y'all wanted from me. I was just excited to see.
You know, I was
excited to
excited
be
to
heard.
come on.
We got you next, and then Milana or something. We got it. We got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
I don't think y'all want me on there, but I come
Why
on
not?
there.
You
Come
know
on.
better. Come
Neil
on.
ain't talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Listen,
Also,
when I get on this show, it's gonna be what Mel said. So I'm gonna do it like this. I come, Easter gonna come. That's how it all
ain't that
party.
Like I'm chopped liver. All right, then bet. Peace.
No, I'm not like that. What
I'm
I'm
messing
saying
with
is,
you. I'm messing with you.
I want somebody to ask me questions. Y'all love me, but I like the hard questions because I
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah, because
giving them. I'm cool with it. So and plus I think I'm the most controversial person there ever was.
We have we got Max Main wanting to pop in. Thanks, Mel. I'm gonna get back with you real soon.
service for you.
Peace,
A good
peace.
example of what we
Also,
need.
before we get too far, I know Max is
Go ahead.
about to divert us real fast. Let's
ahead.
give a round of applause to Isha. I think is this your
Oh.
first podcast host?
Bruh, I just sat back and enjoyed the ride on this one. I was like, I'm just a button presser, but y'all, Isha is tight tonight. But I got to give her a round of applause.
I was like, as someone who has done a couple of these over the course of the past couple of years, if this is your first one, I mean, you did
You did
great.
her own show. I just need to be.
I have
No, because listen,
here I can give you to set you up.
Give me a space for me to be me, and I'll blossom in that. Like
Right.
that's just it. I have to that's why my organization has grown to the where it's at, because I'm allowed to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't deal with all that politics stuff. Let's have real conversations. And after having a conversation with you, I like you even more.
Right.
And it's just
We just
being
need a
real.
chance to hear them. You know what I mean? Because sometimes,
because
yeah.
you hear all that other stuff and you don't, you will let that come in, or you look at them on one side, but you held your own. And it ain't a lot of people, that ain't sweating when I'm like, now tell me what. And it's not that I'm trying to be intimidating. It's just I have questions.
Right.
And I'm expecting you to,
We got Max Main on the line real quick. Max, what's up?
What up with y'all?
Ain't nothing much. We finally got you through. We got the good councilman on. Did you want to say something to him, brother?
Man, you know what? I want to say that I am super proud of Mr. Goodman. He's only 25. He's very articulate. You can tell that he's studying and he's doing a good job, and he's a big inspiration to the youth. However, I do want to say something. This is way more important than M1, way more important than Northfield Farms. I want to say that congratulations, because you're the only guy in all of my years living in Pontiac that have 2 cats. So I would like for you to grab your cat, put them up to the camera, and let the world see your cats.
This is the only one that I can pick up, because the other one.
And how is life like just living with 2 cats?
So I think that people. Let's take a step back. So my grandma was the reason why I like cats. I grew up with them, and my grandma was a black woman from the South, which is notoriously people who don't like cats. But I grew up with 2 of them, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Man, where they at?
Well, so yeah, I just put one on the screen. The other one is gone. Well, he downstairs probably, but cats are low maintenance. I'm a really low maintenance person. I spend a lot of time cleaning my apartment because I feel like my apartment isn't clean enough. And the idea of having a dog running around, knocking things over, the dog smell, and also having to from every single day go out and like walk the animal. Like cats create their own entertainment. I have 2 of them. They're brothers, so they play with each other all day long. They entertain each other. And there's a litter box.
No, I
Like
respect
it's a
that,
much
man.
simpler process. Like
Hey, you
I
know
know
what
what
though?
I'm
It's an
capable of.
ordinance though. Hey, look, it's an ordinance that people living in the city of Pontiac, you only can have 1 cat and 3 guitars. And I'm looking in the background, you have 5 guitars.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
you breaking the violation.
no.
Hey, no,
You talking about
no,
guitars.
y'all go ahead. No, I was just calling to say, man, I'm proud of you though, for real. And then just feel like cracking some jokes tonight. But you did very well. I'm proud of you, bro. I have to remind myself that you're 25.
Yeah.
Like people be mad at you like you are grown, but people have to remember you're
You just been
25.
started.
You're probably one of the smartest 25-year-olds around us in the city.
I appreciate
So
that.
because of that, I respect you. You got some learning to do, but at 25, you're still mature for your age. So keep going, bro.
I appreciate that, and thank you, because Max, I've known you for a while. Also, it's funny because you should just found out who my dad is. Because for those of y'all who don't know, if you know Etta or Eugene, Mike Goodman, and I told Isha that earlier, and she about didn't believe me.
No,
Mikhail Official. No, for people wondering, Mikhail Official. I know the man
My
that
grandma
raised
was on the
him.
South Side. My dad grew up in the Lancasters. We can.
Yeah.
I grew up in London. We can have the conversation.
That's why I am in awe that you have 2 cats, because I know where you come from.
Because it's low.
I know y'all have a good night, though. Y'all have a good night. I'm out.
All right, brother.
Good night, man.
This was dope. Thank you for having me on, and good luck to you, Goodman. Honestly,
Good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, y'all. I really appreciate it.
No doubt. So, with that being said, I'm gonna take you off, Mikhail. We will talk later. Thank you. So, yes, thank you. We look, we did it. We pulled off. We had a good one tonight. Hey, all I had to do was sit back. I was on cruise control. You
I'm
just
sorry.
really. Hey, no, hey. It's been, hey, you did, hey, but like I said, what we talked about before we got online, for as for people to chime in and us go live, that District 3, about it. You know what I'm saying? You got some understanding about District 3 and what's going on, what's needed, and what the people talk about there. So it's only befitting that you came on tonight and you really, I think you really carried the load with this. So I really appreciate you for popping on and coming on.
Anytime. I enjoy myself.
Well, we might have Milana Good. I'm about to call her Good. Come on.
Jones. Milana Goodman.
hey, people go voting for the wrong part. Look, but we got Jones. We might be. I'm reaching out to her. She might be. Get her on, and let's see if Mel might want to do it again. But if you down for it, I'm gonna let you know. And if people want to see Isha on the show again, type something in there real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because she be busy. I got to make her make time now.
Yeah, stuff like this. As long as it's in the evening, I'll definitely make time, because I know
I got a suggestion.
That's running.
I got a suggestion.
Uh-huh.
You and Max should do a podcast together. You know how much y'all will get? It'll be viral, though. I don't know what y'all would call it, but if y'all did, it'll be off the check. Y'all be monetized on that joke, for real.
Listen, after marriage.
I like it. Let me produce it. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
For real though.
I tear him up on there. I gotta really.
Y'all will want to see that. You know what I mean? After marriage, the After Marriage podcast. Ooh, that'll be dope. Come to the pod or somewhere. I'll do it.
I'm definitely down. Listen, me and him is in a. That's my brother now.
Well, okay, y'all got to tell us how y'all did it.
Yes, we will definitely give some pointers on how to leave a person and still,
and work it out
at the same time.
Right. Wow.
So you can count me in on that too. I know he'll be. I gotta prep him because he just be saying stupid stuff.
Max, my man, though. I like Max. That's the dog. But yeah, thanks again. And then I'll reach out to you. But yeah, folks, we probably gonna be coming back real soon. I'm gonna try to get another council person or two before the cycle, the the run of the mill is over with, and we got some new people or some same people, you know what I mean,
So
in
who
office.
all have you had on there that's running?
Well, I had Mel. Kermit was supposed to come on, but something came up for him where he wasn't able to. Actually, it was the night that he proposed. And yeah,
That's
so
that's what came up.
that's what came up. He knew, but he didn't know if he was gonna be able to do it earlier, and it just didn't work out. But so Melanie, of course, who we just had tonight, and then at the pod, of course, would be in the driver's seat. Of course, we've had Mike and Kermit there. So Mike, Kermit, Chris, Jackson, then some people that didn't make it to the past the first primary. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
it's like,
you know who I want on here?
Who?
I would love to see, of course, Mel,
Yeah.
Chris Jackson.
I asked Chris.
You gotta ask him again.
Well, I ain't gonna ask too many times. You know what I'm saying?
One more time.
One more time.
One more time.
I know he's busy. You know what I'm saying? So I know
he ain't that busy.
Understand.
He can get on here.
All right.
Austin.
Yeah. I talked to him the other night.
He's a good guy.
Right.
And Thurkel. Like all of them, really. Everybody who's running, I think within the next, what we got, like
2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
Get them on here.
Yeah. I'll reach out. I'll reach out one more time.
Yeah. Yep. I think I think that would be good.
All right, bet. I'm gonna try to make that swing. You know what I mean? But thanks again, Isha. It's been wonderful. I had more fun than I thought. You know what I mean tonight. So, dang, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my Subway sandwich and chill out. You know what I mean? Thanks everybody for popping on, and we be back on. Keep God first, family second, and you third. In that order, you should never be made last because the last is always made first. This is just Sante's opinion.
Text me that because I don't know what. Listen, but I want to use it.
All right, bet you can have it. It's yours. But with that being said, thanks, Mr. Goodman, for coming on, Councilman Goodman, and good luck in your race. And for that, we'll see y'all. Have a great night.
Have a good night.